Cheers.
Cheers.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I won't be able to look at you because I am operating a motor vehicle, so...
This is the time that I get JT to do a Q&A, so we are road tripping.
I am present.
Yeah. He is driving. I can look at the camera. But we are taking a little drive to Anaheim. We're actually going to VidCon, so I thought this would be a perfect time to just do a little Q&A with JT and I, because obviously I feel like a lot has gone on since our last Q&A in life. Pre-engagement, pre-dog,
True.
I don't know, a lot of things.
Was it pre-engagement?
Pre-engagement, yeah.
I actually think we did the last Q&A like a week before I proposed, but the engagement was planned.
It is time for a little Q&A with Boo. Well, now we are engaged, which is so exciting, as you guys know. We always say, isn't it so weird that the guy doesn't wear anything?
Guys deserve a ring.
Anywho, we just dropped off River at his brother's house, which is so cute. Now we're gonna go have a little day. JT's got a cool meetup tonight with his community, so that'll be super exciting. And I'm tagging along for the ride. But you guys sent in, I asked on Instagram some questions, which if you're not following me on Instagram too, make sure you are. JT too. I honestly haven't even looked at these. I'm just looking now on this drive. Okay, so if no one has seen the last video, maybe they're even new to us, maybe let's just explain real quick how we met and how long we've been together.
We met on Instagram. I was playing hockey in Russia. Sam was modeling and working in Los Angeles. I was playing pro hockey over there and was at a point in my life where I was really honestly not interested in finding a relationship. I felt like my relationship was to the sport. And I also was at a point in my life where I was particularly what I would consider particularly religious. And so Sam posted something about getting baptized, and I commented on it or messaged her saying this is really cool. And then that kind of sparked us just casually talking over DMs. I will say I actually think that Sam did not respond to me a lot, and it was more of me just saying this is cool, hope you're having a great day, hope life's going well for you, this is sweet, oh this looks cool, to no responses. And
I had a boyfriend
she had a boyfriend at the time, and I believe I was aware of that. I was not, from what I can absolutely remember, was not pursuing Sam in any other way other than just genuinely being this is cool.
Yeah.
Congrats on this, whatever. So anyways, she didn't respond for a while, and then eventually she started responding a little bit more, and then when I came back to the US, she had broken up with her boyfriend, and we decided to meet up, and under the context of just being friends.
Just friends.
And when we met up, we talked for 5 hours in Los Angeles at a restaurant. And then the next day we hung out, and I think on the second day we kind of realized that we were wanting to be more than friends.
Yeah, that just made me think, on the first night, were you okay, I want to be more than friends, or were you just oh, this was a really good conversation and this girl's cool?
I think that I left it with being I really like that person. I don't know if I think I also was I really love hockey, or I really am dedicated right now, so I'm not willing to let somebody in. But the first night, I think I said that, to my friends, she's going to be somebody that's going to be in my life for a really long time. And then the second day, after Sam and I realized that we weren't going to be friends, was when I felt this I think is my person. My business partner. This is my business partner for a little bit.
This is my business partner.
We will transact. This will be a transactional relationship.
Okay, well, that is our little introduction, and now we've been together for 5 years. So don't feel like it's weird if a boy or a guy messages you on Instagram.
I can't wait to do one of these Q&As when we're on our 50-year anniversary.
Yeah, that'll be cool. How has your relationship changed since getting engaged? I feel like it hasn't changed. The relationship is still I think we've been putting the same amount of effort that we were before we were engaged to now. There is this feeling that you kind of have in the back of your mind of I'm really choosing this person and this person's choosing me. And I know it's silly to be like, now that we're engaged, that's even more in the back of my mind, but it really is. You kind of get this like feeling of like, okay, I know this is my ride or die, and I feel like I just have that confident like gut feeling every time we're together now, just because I know that we are like really choosing each other by getting married.
Yeah, I think
Sorry to interrupt, this was actually when you proposed to me. I remember that was one thought that I had. Realized I was in like pure shock that JT even proposed, because it wasn't in the timeline for a couple years. And I remember looking at him like I had this kind of like, what the heck moment, because I was like, we are going to be old together. And that like literally kind of freaked me out a little. It was like a very interesting moment I had, but I'm good now.
I would say for me, it doesn't feel much different in the sense of like, I've known that Sam, like, you know, within the first little bit of us being together, I was like, this is a life thing. This isn't just a moment thing. So I don't feel like it really feels like our actual day-to-day relationship has changed now that we are fiancés. Two things. One, I think when you become engaged or when you become married, all of the preconceived ways of that you have been taught what engagement is or marriage is like that comes onto you, and so you have to decide what it is for you, like what is being engaged for me versus what have I been taught being engaged means in movies, by people around me, by parents, by my relationships. So what is it for me? And so I would say that's like something that is that is like a little bit different, of being like, oh, I learned that being engaged means this. Do I agree with that? Do I want to keep that? Do I want to change that? That's the first thing. And then the second thing would probably just be like planning of like the future and all of that. Like you really do become like an actual partnership. And so there's really cool things that come with all of that.
What important discussions did you two have before getting engaged?
We didn't really need to have too many, because I feel like Sam and I have really deep discussions always. So we had talked about engagement. We had talked about like marriage before. We both agreed we wanted to get married at some point.
Yeah.
We both agreed we wanted to get engaged at some point, but it wasn't like let's go look at rings and let's plan this out and it's going to happen in the next 6 months. It was kind of just like a random. I
feel like the important discussions that we did have, but we weren't having them intentionally thinking like we're getting engaged soon. It was more just, I would say, being on the same page of like future plans, you know, like what kind of family we wanted, where we wanted to live, like kind of just seeing that we were pretty aligned and very open to the future together was like the discussions we were having. Yeah. But I would say we just pretty much both had like a gut check that this was like a forever kind of thing. Do you guys argue? How often? And how do you resolve issues when one is being difficult?
This is a good question. I would say we don't argue often. We actually argue very rarely. We have disagreements at times, but we don't argue very often. It does happen occasionally, and usually when it happens, both of us end up going and taking the time to try and look at ourselves and see like, what role am I playing in this? Is this something that is just my own, or is this something that I like genuinely feel like is coming from my partner? And then we try and sit and communicate about it. Like we try and, after taking our time to ourselves, go and bring it to the other person and like just full transparency, talk about it. Here's how I'm feeling. Yeah. Here's what's going on for me.
Yeah, I feel like we usually, when there is some type of disagreement going on, a lot of the times it's something personally that's happening, and we're then projecting it onto each other. We like really learn that through our relationship. So the other person will also like JT plenty of times will check me if I'm feeling irritated or like kind of frustrated. He'll be like, okay, I understand that like maybe you need a moment, so why don't you take your moment and then like let's reconnect on this subject, and you let me know if you still feel that way about this subject, rather than maybe letting like outside things kind of affect this subject to be bigger than it is. How to continue appreciating each other when you have been dating a long time?
I think it's by acknowledging the little things that are more mundane along with watching each other grow and change. Like, I think we're both very different in a lot of ways than we were when we started dating.
Yeah.
And I think we're both the same in a lot of ways when we started dating. And I think like watching each other like grow into the people we're trying to be is like an easy thing to appreciate.
Yeah.
And then I think outside of like the big moments, just even like seeing each other in our mundane things, our like little routine things, it's easy to appreciate when you have love for the other person and you're just like, wow, this person's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't think that much about you.
Yeah,
you're just okay.
You're okay, yeah. I also feel like being interested while they're evolving and growing, like continuing to be interested in their things and the things that they're excited about, and it shows like your appreciation for them and your interest in them, because I think that we should always be evolving and growing. So like JT said, 5 years ago, yes, we have a lot of similarities that we were then, but we also have so many things that we've grown into and evolved in. So it's like continually being interested in your person and showing that interest, I feel like brings that level of appreciation.
Yeah, because I don't think that you're interested in the person just because of the subjects that they like. You want them to be happy. So if you like see them thriving and feeling happy and like really enjoying a subject, you just naturally are like, I want to know more about this. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on with this? Like, what are you up to? And so, I think like really like the appreciation comes from like seeing like your person being passionate about something and being like stoked on it. That it's easy to be like, wow, tell me more. This is so cool.
I just thought of a good question. It's not even what I'm reading, but I kind of am like, I feel like this is something that I would like to know too. Is how do you think I guess this is a two-part question. Do you have a relationship that you looked up to or had as an example, would be my number one. And if not, how do you think you learned what a healthy relationship is?
This is a really good question.
I know, right?
Really good question. Thank you for the user 766743 that just submitted that one. I think that I had glimpses of healthy relationships around me. I don't think that my relationship that I have with Sam comes from the visualization or the visualizing of my parents' relationship. I think that it comes from me sitting with myself and almost vision boarding what does a relationship look like for me. I'm a very like visual person. I think that I just like am very creative in just like visualization itself, like looking at things and being like, what do I want my life to look like? So I think my entire idea of what a healthy relationship looks like has come from really just creating what I think it looks like. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's people that I've seen now that have matched my visualization that I have a lot of respect for. People on social media, people on YouTube, people in the world that I've met that are like, you know, been married for a very long time and are super happy. Yeah. That I like look at that and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want. Yeah. But a lot of it has just been from me sitting and being like, I know what I don't want from seeing other people. Now what do I want? Yeah. Yeah, I feel similar in that. I really do. I feel like I didn't really have examples when I was younger. I can't even honestly think of any that I was like, I want that kind of relationship. It wasn't until I started to, maybe be more of an adult that I kind of saw things in other couples that I did admire. But I really feel like when I met you, this has been my healthiest relationship. I don't think I've actually had, looking back now, I appreciate every relationship I've had because it's taught me a lesson. But I don't think I was looking at it as like, this is the relationship I want, like, to embody. And then with you, something like clicked where it was like, no, this is my long-term relationship forever that I want to create the energy I want. And I think the reason why we both got into this relationship and knew that we wanted to be super healthy was because we were both at points in our life where we were working on our relationship with ourselves and being like, I no longer want to have an unhealthy relationship with myself. Yeah. And so anybody that I date or meet, I want that same relationship with. Can guys in relationships have other best girlfriends? LOL. So pretty much best friends, I feel like is a little bit like of an odd way to put it. Like Sam's my best friend, so I think your partner is your best friend. Close girlfriends, I think for sure. Like, I absolutely think so. I think that you can have close girlfriends, guy friends, whatever. You know when the relationship is unhealthy or is not like a thing that should be happening. And so I think it comes down to everybody's individual makeup of their relationship with their partner. Some people feel more comfortable with it. Some people don't feel as comfortable with it. I think I have no problem with it. I don't think Sam has a problem with it. But if I ever had like a girl that I was really close friends with that I felt like her intentions were weird, I would feel weird and be like, this isn't cool.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel good. Like,
yeah, I agree. You got to think about too, when JT and I met each other, obviously we had best friends that were the opposite sex, because when you're not in a relationship, you obviously are having best friends that are opposite sex. So I know JT had plenty actually of like best girlfriends. JT vibes with girls. He's literally has 4 sisters. Like, I met so many of his girlfriends who were literally the best to me. Like, they welcomed me in, they were texting me. So I think it's also, like JT said, like checking in with who these best friends are now that you're in a relationship. Like, are they also making the effort to make the girl feel comfortable, vice versa, the guy feel comfortable? And I had like such an amazing experience with JT's girlfriends. But I will say, like, as you evolve in your relationship, like, you kind of start to have different types of best friends. Like, I think our best friends that are the opposite sex are a lot of like your best friends. Like, your guy best friends are like some of my best friends, and that's kind of what happens, just because I feel like when you're just at a different time when you first meet and you have best friends, but over time it's like either that person is like around a lot and like they just now are like one of my friends, or it's like you kind of evolve as a relationship and you start to kind of be best friends with your other like couples. When's the wedding? Wedding plans. Wedding is next fall is our plan. We only have a wedding planner. That is the farthest we've gone. As far as like details of the wedding, Santa Barbara, Palm Springs, and Ojai are 3 locations. We both have really big families, so I think it'll be like a range of like 150, 200. That's like right now what I'm thinking, but who knows when we write the list. At first I was really debating about having, I think JT and I both were, about having a smaller wedding, because after the proposal, I think we felt like a little overwhelmed of, it was the night we got engaged and we barely saw each other. But I think that was just like obviously the excitement. So now we've just really learned that you can have it all, and like how to make sure you're with your partner, but plus everyone else is there. And I would say this engagement party showed me that like you can have it all, have tons of people, and they're just so excited to be there for you. So you don't have to worry about like pleasing everyone. Like, they're just stoked to like be like in your love and like all of that. So I would say like I'm really excited to have like a bigger wedding actually, which was a debate for me.
agreed.
That's our wedding plans. Slowly or surely, I'll continue to keep up. Hold on, guys.
We're checking in.
I'll be back. We're here. All right, we are back from the conference. I realized that we totally did not do a little outro because we kind of just went right into it when we got to the conference. So feeling really good to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little Q&A me and JT did. Yeah, and as always, let me know what you guys want to see more of below. I feel like there's a lot of life stuff going on, so going to try and share that. I'm just giving you guys all the wellness things that I am obsessed with.
Guys, that was really fun. Thank you for listening.
All right, love y'all.